Good morning. This is day 54 and it's the 9th of May. Yesterday we did a Nero and we left Kennedy Meadows. So we went from mile 702 and we camped at mile 715. The wind yesterday was horrific, which meant, and the temperature was pretty cool as well, which meant that the wind chill was ridiculous. So I got up to mile 715, got the tent all set up and dived into my sleeping bag, and it was so cold. It's the coldest I've ever been in this trail so far. I had all my clothes on inside my sleeping bag and I was still cold. Then it seemed like the temperature, or the wind, all of a sudden the temperature just shot right up, and then at 10 o'clock it got quite warm. Anyway, that was a windy night. So just now we've just crossed the Cairn River. We're probably at mile 720. So I'll pan the camera around and let you see where we are. Right. So we've came from over here somewhere. And there's a lovely meadow. Okay. So we are definitely in the Sierras. I don't know if you can see, this is how cold it is today, right? I've got my sun shirt on. I've got my bivvy jacket on. And I've got my raincoat on, and I've got my bob hat on, and I'm also wearing my long johns. It's pretty cold today. But I think perhaps give it another hour, the sun will get a wee bit higher, and then it'll heat up a wee bit. That way I can go back to sun shirt and short mode. So we'll walk this way to second breakfast. Have second breakfast, then maybe get changed, take off some layers. So the exciting things I've seen today, I'm pretty sure I've seen a mountain lion. It was a long way off. It must have been 500-600 metres away. It must have been a mountain lion. Either that, it was an extremely large fox, but it was, the colours weren't right for it to be a fox. So there you go. All the rest, and it's heading back up to the trail where the rest of them are coming down. Maybe they'll all get a wee fright. So yes, today we're only going to go as far as, I'll set off say at 7:15 and we're going to go to 7:29. That's just a 15-mile day. Packs weigh the usual ton again. We substituted all those 4 and 5 litre water carriers, and we've now got a beer box. Sorry, a beer can. Yeah, so now the desert has now finished. The desert's officially finished at Kennedy Meadows. So my thoughts on the desert. I thought the desert was pretty hard. Just simply due to the logistics of moving through the desert in that heat. And also the water carries you have to do. You've really got to plan your water carries. Sometimes, I mean, the most I ever carried, I think, was like 5.7 litres. That's 5.7 kilograms. That's a lot of weight. What else? I suppose it gives you a new appreciation for water. Because coming from Scotland, we don't have an issue with water whatsoever. You can go a wee hill walk and take a litre water bottle and you're fine. It's also, you get ridiculously dirty in the desert. And if you're putting on sunscreen constantly, you'll get even more. So I suppose every night when you go into your sleeping bag, you're putting on your long john top, your long johns and your socks. That's not to keep warm. That's to keep your sleeping bag clean. So one of the important points to note is we're travelling through the desert, is that we set off on the 17th of March. And that would mean we would get to Kennedy Meadows like the first week in May, which is what we've done. A lot of people go for the traditional start of the 15th of April. That means you're entering into the Sierras in mid-June. Now, first of all, we also know there's a massive herd of people travelling up the trail now. And these are all the people who have started on the wrong start date. Like, for example, I don't think there was 50 people started when we started. So they've all went for the 15th of April. Which I think if you're coming from the UK, I think you're going to really struggle in that desert. If you've got like an April or a May start date, or even worse, a May start date, and you go into the desert, you will really struggle. I know I would. Which is why I opted for a March start date. Which meant, in theory, the desert would be cooler, which I can cope with, though there would be more snow in the Sierras, which I could cope with that. Also, it means that you get into Northern California, hopefully, before all the wildfires start. Whereas if you start in May, you can through the desert in triple digit temperatures. All the water sources, all the seasonal water sources will have dried up, and you'll be relying on water caches. And they save their bacon sometimes. Then it would also mean as you would be going through perhaps the Sierras when there's no snow. I suppose that's an advantage. But when you're in Northern California and Oregon, then perhaps a lot of the trail will be closed due to the wildfires. So there. So you're wondering perhaps why I'm a wee bit out of breath today, and maybe that is due to the altitude. We're sitting now, we must be about 8,500 feet. I'd imagine that altitude is probably going to start kicking in. Right, I'll show you a wee bit of the trail. Okay. So there we go. So I suppose in terms of start dates, if you're coming from the United Kingdom, or even I suppose another European country, and you're not sure about the heat, is aim for an early start date. Then I suppose another reason for an early start date is you'll miss all the crowds, because we know behind us a couple of days behind there's a huge massive crowd of people coming. Allegedly just now in Wrightwood, over the past couple of days, there's like 70 odd people in Wrightwood. Right. Right, so that's all from me for today. I think that's day 54. Do you see I've got a nice new rucksack? Went into Triple Crown Outfitters. What an incredible shop that is. It's completely geared up to Pacific Crest Trail hikers. It's just a container, a 40-foot container, but absolutely everything in it is specific to your needs. And the two of them, who run it, which is Yogi, and I can't remember his name. They know what they're talking about. I just thought I would add that in.